What's up, everybody? My name is Matty Wills, and welcome to another episode of BeWell with Matty Wills, of course, brought to you by the fine folks at MetroHealth. Today, we'll be talking to Dr. Vikas Gampa about the importance of building good relationships with your primary care provider. So without further ado, Doctor, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me here, actually.
Of course, we know you guys are extremely busy, so we really appreciate you taking some time out of your busy days to just chop it up with us a little bit. Before we get started, though, why don't you tell the audience, the viewers, a little bit about your journey into MetroHealth and what you do?
Yeah, my journey is kind of long. I was born in India, but grew up in Dayton, Ohio. Didn't think I was ever going to come to Cleveland, actually.
Oh, okay.
But I'm really glad I'm here. Okay. I do like the city. I went to Ohio State, did a bunch of stuff in Columbus, then left the state, actually, and went to Harvard Medical School, was there for 10 years doing training. But ultimately, I wanted to come back because I wanted to give back to the city. So I came to MetroHealth because I like the work that MetroHealth does and the work that I get to do here. And I get to be an educator as well. So Perfect. I just love the people that I work with, my patients, the colleagues, and the students that I work with.
Perfect. And I'm sure they all appreciate having you. And today, of course, I appreciate having you as well. So we're talking today about the importance of establishing and maintaining a good relationship with your primary care provider. So we can kind of just jump right into it. What are the most important tips and practices in building a strong, effective patient-provider relationship?
Yeah, thanks for that, Matty. The first of it is actually just to be honest. I don't mean just from the patient's perspective. I also mean from the provider's perspective. I think honesty goes both ways to build a relationship. Right. Recognizing that a primary care provider and patient relationship is supposed to be long-term, it doesn't mean that everything happens on the first day and the first visit. So it can take a long time to build that trust, and that's okay. In terms of being effective, we are busy and our patient load is getting larger because there are a lot of us that need to be seen and we deserve the health care. So to make your appointments effective, I recommend patients often write down a list of things or concerns they want to address before they come in. I recommend that they be attentive and be there and be present because I know that life is really hard for a lot of our patients and in general life is getting harder. Right. And you only get 20 minutes and that's your time to make the most of whatever you want to talk to your provider about. So in terms of building a relationship, honesty, in terms of making it quite effective, being prepared for your appointments.
Makes a lot of sense. And just from the stance of hearing you say, be honest as the first thing that you said, both ways. Of course, that rings true for me as a patient, but it is nice to hear that we are encouraging our doctors to be honest with us as well. So how do you communicate and build rapport with patients, particularly the newer ones?
Yeah, my stance is, first of all, I'm honest and I just listen. The first time I meet someone, especially, it's not about me and it's about them. And there's a lot of nerves in both directions, actually, but especially for the patient. So I just sit there and I maybe ask them a few questions to clarify things, but I just let them go through everything that they want to talk about. And I tell them, maybe we'll get to all of these now, but maybe we won't, but we'll get to them eventually. But first, I just want to hear who you are. And part of that actually is also getting to know the person a little bit more. Like, I always like to say, what do you like to do for fun? Because you're not just the illnesses that you present with. Who are you as a human being? What do you like to do in Cleveland? What do you like about the Browns, as we were talking about? So I just like to get to know them because it helps me figure out what I need to do for them in the future and what I can offer for them to make their healthcare the best it can be.
Yeah, and just listening to you talk, it reminds me, and I've brought this up on previous episodes, how, I went a little while, and, quote unquote, little while without going to the doctor. But then when I did get back into it, there were definitely a lot of nerves on my part. And just speaking with my friends who are my age, we're in our early 40s, who I also try to encourage to get back into going to the doctor. I can sense the nerves with them as well. There's a lot of kind of fear of the unknown as it relates to when you don't go for a long time. So I know that has a lot to do with it. But yeah, really insightful answer there, and hopefully would encourage people to make the leap and start going back. Yeah. Why is honesty with your provider about lifestyle habits and health concerns crucial in preventative care, and how can patients overcome discomfort when discussing sensitive topics?
Yeah, that's a good one. The first time, One of the things let me start with discomfort part here, which is that we are all full of nerves and a lot of discomfort. So I like to say that it's not about the first visit. It's about the many visits that you have over time. It's kind of like a bad analogy, but kind of like going on a date. The first date's always full of nerves and you kind of don't reveal everything, and that's okay. But sometimes in that relationship, you can say something like, hey, I have some things I want to discuss, but I'm not there. I'm not in a place to discuss those with you yet. So I'd like to hold on to that for our next visit.
Right.
The honesty part, there are a lot of things in medicine that depend on what the patient tells us. So for example, things that are stigmatized in society, for example, like smoking, in some cultures, it's very stigmatized. So people don't tell me how much they smoke. But if they've been smoking a lot of cigarettes, particularly for a very long time, then they actually should get a CT scan to make sure they don't have a lung cancer after a certain age. But if I don't know that, then I'm not going to order it because I am worried about giving you the radiation that you don't necessarily need. On the other hand, if you don't smoke at all, but you feel like you should say that you smoke a lot, then I might give you a CT scan and give you extra radiation that you might not need anyway. So in any particular way, just honesty helps me make sure that you get the healthcare that's been proven to be the best.
Yeah, and would you say that, just going back to the theme of honesty, that a lot of people may not want to hear the answer, the potentially negative answer that it could be if they are completely honest?
Yeah, absolutely. That fear that you were talking about, part of it was when I was talking about nerves, I was talking about anxiety, but I got the sense it's also a little bit of the fear that comes with knowing that, for example, if we do a CT scan, then we do find something in the lungs, for example. And yeah, it is that fear. But I think it's not about doing everything the first day, especially if it's fearful for you. It's about having that relationship so you can lean on that person over time. And so I like to tell my patients, this is something that I would like to do, and I understand that you're scared of it, but I'm going to leave it on the table. If ever you want to readdress it, bring it back to me, but I may address it as well and bring it up and see where you are and how you feel. Over time, people kind of get adjusted to the idea, even if the answer may be bad, because they know that I'm on their side and then I'm going to help them go through the process. Or at least I make that obvious that I'm going to help them go through that process.
Right. And I'm sure a lot of that has to do with just kind of building that rapport, seeing them more than one time, and maybe just having them, honor the trust that you want to put into them with that kind of, those repetitive conversations and things of that nature.
Yeah. I think just letting patients actually choose their healthcare, but telling them what I am doing and why I'm doing it allows them to, not always, but sometimes come back to it at a later time.
Got it. What virtual care options are available to patients at MetroHealth, and how can patients build trust with their providers through virtual care?
Yeah, I think we actually have a lot of virtual care options. I think we have same-day urgent care options for children 6 and above, so that minor illnesses and injuries can be taken care of that day. We have same-day options for adults for issues that can be taken care of that day, but not necessarily entirely urgent or emergent. And then we have chronic virtual care. So sometimes, I have patients who can't see me because of lots of reasons. They can't leave their house or they can't come here because they're at a job. They can make an appointment with me virtually.
So for today's call to action, MetroHealth offers well visits to prevent health problems before they start. Schedule an appointment with a primary care provider today through MyChart online at metrohealth.org/appointments, or call 216-MY-METRO, or that's 216-696-3876. I'm Matty Wills. This is Dr. Gampa. I think I got that right.
You did.
All right, good, because we would have had to shoot the whole thing over again if I didn't.
I'm glad you didn't.
But thank you for your time today, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks, Matty.